Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Here is Lost Ruins of Arnak Expedition Leaders. This is the new expansion for Lost Ruins of Arnak. You can have a little bit of box. Beautiful artwork. The back of the box is going to tell you everything that comes in. It's 6 leaders, new assistant guard, 18 extra items, 12 artifacts, and 2 new temples to explore. Honestly, all of this can fit in the base game, and then boom, you're done with this box. Throw it out, even though it does have beautiful artwork on it. We're going to open this up. I'm going to take a look at each thing individually, show you how it works, and tell you what I think about it. So the first thing inside is a rulebook, and it looks really cool from the outside. I like that. It tells you how to use the expansion, how to add them into your base game setup notes, and it goes through all of the components that are in there, breaks down what the expedition leaders are going to do, and some general rules about them. Then you're going to see a breakdown of each of the expedition leaders, and I'm going to go over the information that's in this in just a second, but you can see plenty of pictures. You got setup, you got how to use them, and then some examples that'll be sporadically put in here for each of these. You're going to have the new research tracks. You're going to have the monkey temple and the lizard temple that you can utilize during the game. There's some additional cards you're just going to kind of mix in. They're going to give you specific notes on some of those. And there's a red moonstaff variant if you want to use that. This is very easy to use. So you're going to be able to utilize this very simply, depending on what you want to put in. Here's the new icons, etc. you're going to have on the back. So if you want to use a couple of these things and throw them in, or just kind of shuffle everything in, which I think I'm going to do, the book is easy to follow. It is important to note that each character expedition leader that you're going to have is going to have a little cheat sheet here. It's going to tell you the setup, the new icons, kind of how they work. They're double-sided. They're not cardboard. They're flimsy, but they just kind of sit down and they're a reference sheet, so very, very nice. So the first guy is going to be the captain. You're going to have an additional archaeologist in the gray color the other people aren't going to have. You're also going to have 4 cards that will be your starting cards that you're going to have here. This one's pretty, only one that's a little bit different, which is, this card effect is one of 3 free actions shown on this little table here. So if you place no archaeologist, the card cannot be played. If you've played 1, this is the only option you have. If you've played 2, this is the option you have. And if you play 3, this is the option you have. Otherwise, it's a pretty straightforward character to play as. You know, you do have these new blue slots up here that give you additional actions that you're going to have, but his big thing is going to be the new archaeologist. So the Falconer, what's going to be unique about her in general is going to be the eagle. And you're going to place the eagle here, and then the eagle is going to fly through these spaces. You do have some cards here. If you have 0 guardians, you can choose this one. 1 or 2, you would get this one. Or if you have 3 or more, you have here. Now let's get back to the eagle. You're going to start in the starting space, and it's going to go up, and each time you go here, you're going to get an additional goodie or a power. If you utilize the power that it is on, it will come back down to the spot, and you will get that. Or you can kind of keep moving it up, turn to turn, until you decide you want to utilize the power, and the eagle will fly back down. And that's how the Falconer is going to work. So here's the Baroness. She's going to start out with special delivery in her hand each game. Play this effect when you buy an item to put it directly into your hand. This card returns to your hand at the beginning of each round. So she's always going to start with special delivery. Then she has the other ones, which this one says it's resourcefulness. If one of these 3 effects are depicted, you would gain. So no items, you get that. 1 item, you get that. And 3+, you would get the bottom one. So you're seeing that's an ongoing thing here. Now, the Baroness has regular income every round. So every round we go into, she's going to get more and more income. So that's kind of what she's going to look at. And don't overlook, the rulebook points out that she starts out with the power of flight because she's so rich, right? And that's what she's going to be. She reminds me of the guy of Gilligan's Island, the lady, the wife of the rich man. So that is the Baroness. So what you're going to do with him is you're immediately going to draw 3 artifacts to put at the top of above him. So he's going to start with 3 artifacts, and this is the Professor. The Professor is also going to get the suitcase token. He's also going to have the 4 starting cards here, which are rather normal. Here is going to be based on how many artifacts he has, how many goodies he's going to have, and he's going to travel by boat and by car quite a bit. Now there are going to be some icons that will come out that will put things directly into the suitcase only, as you'll see right here. These can only be used to purchase artifacts. That's it. He's going to be an artifact collector. Now, at the beginning of each round, he is going to get a goodie that will go into the suitcase and only can be used for the purchase of artifacts. Now, the first time your archive is ever empty, you gain a token to your suitcase and refill your archive with 3 new artifacts from the top of the deck. The artifacts are the ones that are up here. So whenever you do that, you get a free green. So it's going to push you to buy more and more and more artifacts. So this is the Explorer. She's going to start out with 2 snack tokens. This one right here will be put on the 3rd. So she won't get that one until the 3rd round of the game. You're going to have your 4 startup cards. And what's particular is the hike and cartography that you're going to have here. So these spaces right here are going to require these snack tokens. In order to utilize these, you're going to be able to put the snack tokens down on them in order to utilize it if you're using it for the symbols and the part at the bottom. The part at the top will not require the snack token. Now, she's only going to have 1 archaeologist, a little bit more, but you can reuse it multiple times per round. If it's on your player board, you can send it to a site according to the usual rules. If it's at a site, you can still dig or discover with it if you have at least 1 unused snack token. So that's another use of the snack tokens. Then what you would do is you would take this, you would put it over on the used side of it, and leave it on the site that she was just at. Some of these are going to have cost on it, so this one will cost a coin to use, and this one will cost a compass to use. And this is the Mystic, so he's going to be kind of an interesting character to play. This is going to use your fear. Because you have some of these effects right here that will exile fear, you'll be able to use them in a different opportunity, which will be this deck right here. Whenever you exile a fear card, you place it in your ritual pile. These cards will not give you negative points into the game, and they can be used for rituals. As you can see down here, you can discard these to get additional goods. Also, whenever you draw up to 5 cards, you're also going to add a fear card to your deck. You can also see that you have additional placing things up here for the Mystic. So this also allows you to exile this card over there, but only if you're utilizing it for this effect. So this is a new research track board. You got the monkey side and you got the lizard side. This side will have a little bit more guardians on it, as you can see, and a little bit tougher and different costs it goes through. These are very unique. I like the way they play. They feel very, very different, to be very honest with you. But they do play things a little bit differently and give you a little bit different options, so you're not playing the same research track all the time. I find this to be more variety, but these are very interesting and give you interesting decisions as you're going through. I find the lizard may be a little bit more difficult or a little bit more pizzazz to it, but both of them are very much fun to play, and I played each one at least twice. In addition, you can get a number of new cards that you can utilize and add to the game. Some of these will replace or rebalance some of them that were in there. You're also going to have some tents that you're going to have here, and some additional people that you can add in. You're going to get some additional idols that you can put out. There will be 3 not used every game, so it kind of uses some of the new flavor in here. And you'll have these new tokens, so you can randomize who's going to be what player. You just kind of shake these up rather than the play mats, and you will be this person for the round. Then the last thing is the Red Moon Staff variant, which is just a little bit different way to play. It allows you to see more cards. Instead of discarding the card each on each side, it's 2 cards on each side, and that kind of pushes things through, and that's the Red Moon variant. Last but not least, you have some new tiles to explore, some new monsters to explore, and these are just going to add variety and some of the new effects into the game. So what do I think about this expansion overall? I think it's a very strong expansion, to be honest. I do like the new player powers. Those are always fun to kind of experiment with and give you direction during the game, and give you just different things to do and kind of shake things up. The new cards, all that variety, that's also nice. The new idols, the new little mechanism they're going to have, like the Mystic, who is very different than any other player and adds some new strategies into the game. You also have the additional research tracks, which are very much appreciated, and I like those quite a bit. You know, some of the leaders are going to have more archaeologists, better ways to kind of dig. Some will get rid of that fear a lot more, gaining fear to get rid of it, and kind of shaking things up. Now, I would play the base game a few times before I add this in. The leaders are definitely going to direct you in the way that you want to play. They're heavy-handed in that way, okay? Extremely heavy-handed. They are going to progress you down this path. And if somebody's using a lot in the leaders and you're not, you're probably not going to do as well because it's going to give them some advantages. Now, are the leaders completely balanced? I don't know. I haven't played it enough to know. I don't know if I'll ever be able to play this enough to be able to answer that. But they're more asymmetrical than they are balanced, I feel, that if you're very good at a certain way or a play style, you're going to do better with that leader than you will with somebody who kind of goes against the grain for what you're looking for. But they play very differently. Like the Baroness plays very different than the Explorer, plays very different than the Mystic. Very cool. And I like this expansion a lot. It adds a lot to the game. I would tell most people to get this. You don't need to add it in right away. Play the base game a few times. Understand what is going on. And this is going to add some wrinkles into it. And some of those are a little bit modular. You can add a couple things in if you want to. Maybe add a leaders in and go from there. Great expansion. CG always knocks it out of the park. They did it again. I hate this artwork is so beautiful because I'm going to throw away this box.